What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post game recap. This one's not going to be pretty, guys. I'm very upset. I can't believe the Lakers lost this game. My hope for the season continues to dwindle. We're really starting to get exposed on our offensive schemes or lack thereof. We lost to a tanking team that's probably in top position to land Zion Williamson. And we lost having a way better team at home. There's no excuse for this. So I'm not even going to make excuses. The free throws are garbage. The lack of energy and passion. There's only one player that gets exempt from the thrashing I'm about to give him today. There's one player that gets exempt from all this, and I think you know what his name is, right? But everybody else, man, they didn't play like they wanted it. And honestly, I feel like that's because of the coaching. I feel like he lost the team already. They're not listening to him. Even if he is drawing any plays up, they're not going to run him. They got no respect for this guy, man, and they shouldn't. Honestly, he shows no emotion, no expression, and they play just like his image, his splitting image. No emotion, no expression. Again, one player gets exempt, and you guys know who it is. The one who went off in the fourth quarter. All right? He gets exempt from this argument. But everybody else, something needs to change. Either there needs to be a trade or we need to fire a head coach. We can't continue like this. And if we're going to continue like this, then we might as well tank because we're losing to tanking teams. We already lost to the Knicks, who are also tanking. Now we just lost to the Cavaliers, who have no stars, don't have a good head coach, don't even have good role players. They're all right. Sadie Osman is probably their best role player on that team. Everybody else is big-time garbage. I mean, we let Tristan Thompson do whatever. We went small on Tristan. And they all missed free throws. That has been a continued problem. There doesn't seem to be any repercussions for missing free throws. Players aren't getting yanked. They're not getting yelled at. I see nothing. It's just if we feel like a JV team out there just running up and down, like there's no structure. There's no structure in our half court. There's no structure even in our fast breaking anymore. We turn the ball over even when we're in transition now. It's getting to that point where it's atrocious. And there needs to be some sort of change. If not, then we might as well mail this season in, tank, try to get another asset to trade away in a package for Anthony Davis during the summer. Again, only player that gets exempt from this is Kyle Kuzma because he showed some heart. He showed some passion there in the fourth quarter and almost brought us back. Everybody else just looks lifeless. They look like walking, talking zombies, and I wouldn't be shocked if one of them gets moved. Remember, February trade deadline is February 7th. So it's around the corner. And honestly, if we keep this team, we're better off just mailing it in. We really are. A lot of good players in the draft this year. And if we're going to keep Luke Walton, he's the perfect head coach for tanking, just like Byron Scott was, just like Mike Brown. If that's what we're doing, then all right, keep Luke Walton. Don't make a trade. If we're actually trying to get far and actually make the playoffs and actually make a little postseason run, then we need to trade a player. I don't know who it is, but we need to send some sort of a message again because this coaching staff has polluted with their lack of energy this roster, and now the roster is playing like the coaching staff. Lack of energy, lack of passion, just going through the motions. And that's not acceptable. Did you guys see that play when we were coming back on the Cavs in the fourth quarter? And JaVale McGee had a chance to pick it up, and he didn't want to dive on the ball. Why? Because it's not worth putting his body on the floor if the coaching staff is not really doing their part. Why is he going to sacrifice his body? Earlier in the season, he was all over the floor throwing himself. He believed in his team. You can tell JaVale McGee is already lost. You can see how he's so frustrated with the coaching staff, how we keep getting abused in the paint and there's no adjustments, how we're not running any offensive schemes. You can tell he's frustrated. Just look at JaVale McGee's body language. And, boy, I can't wait to hear Luke Walton's excuse for tonight's loss because there is none. None. No excuse. I don't care we don't have LeBron. We don't have Rondo. I don't care if we don't have half of the roster. This is a game we have to win. You know? They are tanking, for God's sakes. If you can't beat the tanking teams, good luck this upcoming week. That's all I'm saying. This game officially, I think, knocked us out of the playoffs for the time being. I think we're no longer a top 8 seed. If I'm not mistaken, haven't looked at the standings, don't even want to look right now. I'm so disgusted, guys, by this loss. Like, I can't believe it's mind-blowing. We have the talent. Kuzma, Brandon, Lonzo, Josh Hart, they should all be playing better, and we don't have the coaching staff to put those players in their positions to score. And we don't have a coaching staff that, if they're going to play like crap, is going to yank them out of the game and replace them with other guys. Svi Mykhailiuk, Mo Wagner, give other guys run. Here's another good example of why Luke Walton is trash. I'm not going to mince my words anymore. He's just straight up garbage. Here's another example. You guys remember a kid by the name of Thomas Bryant? Well, guess what? I saw him play today with the Washington Wizards. He's starting for them. And he dropped what? I think it was 18 points and 12 rebounds. We cut a man that's capable of dropping 18 points and 12 rebounds, who plays tough interior defense, because Luke Walton doesn't even want to give him playing time. Think about that. Let's just think how stupid and low basketball IQ Luke Walton has. And I think he's doing the same thing with two guys, Mo Wagner and Svi Mykhailiuk. Just think about that for a second. Imagine we get rid of those players and end up shining elsewhere, just like Thomas Bryant, because Luke Walton is incapable of making adjustments. Think about that. Thanks, Mike Scott Free. I appreciate you. He said, let's hear it. He said, if the Lakers keep Luke all year, I may lose respect for Magic and Pelinka. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to lose a little bit of respect too, because I believe in them. I still believe in them, because I feel like they have an ultimate plan in place. But who knows? Maybe that plan is partially tanking since LeBron got injured, mail the rest of the season in, save LeBron. I wouldn't bring him back if they continue losing like this, because then we're going to be what? Bottom 8 seed, if possible, with LeBron, and then eliminated in the first round, maybe even second if we get lucky. It's not worth it. In that case, just acquire another draft asset and use it in a trade package to land your superstar this summer. If that's the case, if you're going to keep Luke Walton, and I predicted this back in, what was it? I think it was in November. I said, guys, as long as Luke Walton is at the helm, it was when I first turned on him and I said, I'm done. I'm done being patient with him. I gave him time. And I said, as long as Luke Walton is at the helm, we're going to lose games we should be winning. New York Knicks tonight versus the Cavs versus the Jazz. Those are all games we should be winning. And many more that I haven't mentioned from the past. So now we got people saying trade everyone. Now we got people saying they want Bradley Beal. But see, I'm not going to go that far, because what happens if you land Bradley Beal? Now all you have is Bradley Beal, because it's going to take more than Brandon Ingram, especially the way Brandon's been playing it. It might take Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, or Brandon Ingram and Lonzo to get Bradley Beal. The asking price is going to be a little bit higher. If we do that, we're gutting the roster. Now all you have is LeBron and Bradley Beal and potentially Lonzo or Kuz. That's not enough to win you a championship. I'm sorry. So all I'm saying is this, guys. I'm not for that trade simply because I don't want to lock up the cap while gutting our roster. I think that's a double negative, especially when there's better free agents to be had like Kawhi and Kevin. We have to shoot for the stars right now that we have LeBron. We have to shoot for the stars to try to get him another championship, to try to get the city another championship. You know what I'm saying, guys? You understand my point of view? I know a lot of you guys want Bradley Beal, and Bradley is hooping. I would love Bradley Beal, but not for the asking price and not for what it's going to do for our near future. If we get Bradley Beal, that's all. That's all we get. That's it. And we lose some assets along the process. Unless Svi Mykhailiuk or Mo Wagner step up and become better than we expect them to, then that won't be worth it, because to win a championship, you need a deep squad, and we won't have that if we trade away a lot of young pieces. We won't. Unless a bunch of veteran players take mad pay cuts to come play with LeBron and Bradley Beal. But unless that's the scenario, I don't see that as a positive thing. Our best bet is to make a minor trade for now to stop the bleeding, or to send a message to the locker. And then to go out the summer, land that max free agent, and then potentially trade for a third one. If you guys want to trade for one, I would wait till the summer. That way, once we land, let's say we were able to land Kawhi or KD or Clay or whoever we land, all of a sudden, now we can go out and trade for a third piece, very similar to the way Boston did it when, they signed Ray Allen, I think, or did they trade for it? No. Yeah, I think they signed Ray Allen in free agency, and then they went out and traded for KD, or the other way around. However it was. That's how you got to do it. That's the blueprint if you're going to trade, right? If you're going to trade right now and you're going to handicap yourself for the future and you're going to gut your assets, and you're going to end up looking like the New York Knicks did when they traded everybody for Carmelo, and then they went out and signed Amari. It just wasn't enough, and they were never, they were never great like that. So that's my only point. And as much as I love Bradley, I know he will make an impact. Obviously, having Lonzo, Bradley Beal, and LeBron would be amazing. But how do we know that it's not going to take Lonzo? How do we know it's not going to take Brandon Ingram and a first-round pick They're going to want maximum value in return, especially the way that Bradley Beal's playing right now. And we have to be realistic. We can't gut the roster. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Plenty of free agents to be had. This is frustrating. Trust me. There's so many times where I just want to throw my remote at the TV. I'm like, what the heck kind of offense are we running? What is this? ISO one-on-one, break after break, and then settling for 3 after 3. Stu Lance is saying during the live broadcast, let success be your guide. He's absolutely right. If you're breaking shot after shot, stop taking threes. Attack the rim. Come on, man. Come on. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, to me, Luke Ben lost the roster, and it shows. And nights like tonight, they don't really want to play for him. Even JaVale didn't want to throw his body on the ground to get that ball. I seen that, and I was like, okay, he definitely doesn't care about Luke Walton's job. Anthony Davis is an answer, of course, but what are the Pelicans going to ask for? And yes, of course, LeBron and Anthony Davis would be sensational, but the Pelicans already said they don't want to trade Anthony anywhere. It's going to take a home run offer, and I think you guys know what a home run offer is from the Lakers side. It would be the whole young core. Do I want to do that? I don't. I don't care if they're struggling right now. I don't want to give them up. But we'll see what happens. Look, bottom line is the Lakers right now, the way they're playing with their head coach, the way he's coaching, and with LeBron being out till who knows when, they're out of the playoff picture as of right now. And if we continue sliding even further with the upcoming schedule, then we're just better off thinking, why fight to get to the 8th seed only to get eliminated in the first round? If we tank and we land a top 14 pick, maybe we can flip that pick in a package to land Anthony Davis. And then, in a package probably with Brandon Ingram and whoever. Or we can try to sign that free agent first and then try to trade for I don't know how cap-wise is going to work, but they have to have a plan, They are the AC still? Well, okay, we're the AC, but how long is that going to last the way we're playing? Who knows if Chicago comes in or we go to Chicago Tuesday and they beat us, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, look, we got to make a coaching change. If not, I don't know how far we're going to get, honestly. We've lost more games than I can count with this head coach. And it's not all his fault either. It's the players still have to step up and hit their free throws. But it matters, man. It matters the way you coach. The way you coach is just, the way you coach, it really matters, man. And, we're going to get these trolls tonight because they don't have nothing to do. But at the end of the day, they don't really know basketball. That's why they troll. If you knew basketball, I'm having an adult conversation. And these little, kids are coming in here acting like fools. So it's not going to bother me. But the bottom line is the Lakers, they need one of two things. Either they got to make a trade to send a message and say, hey, if you don't step up your energy and effort at least, you're next. Or they have to get rid of the coaching change. Or probably both would be the best. But, yeah, we missed open shots. But look at the guys who are shooting. The guys who are shooting are low percentage shooters. I don't know what's happened. Somebody put out an APB for Josh Hart's jumper because it has completely disappeared. And I'm worried about him because he looked great in Summer League and early on in the season. Now, all of a sudden, he's just gone dry from beyond the arc. And even layups and stuff, he's starting to, be more tentative. So it's just, I don't know, man. Trade them all to get Bradley Beal right now. And then what? Bradley Beal and LeBron make a run? That's it? No cap space, no future. I don't know, man. That sounds like a Band-Aid to me. And I don't want a Band-Aid because what's a Band-Aid going to do to a gunshot wound? It's not going to do anything. It's going to bleed out eventually. Mo Wagner should have got 20 minutes tonight. I agree. Mo Wagner looks nice in the short stint, but we have a head coach that doesn't reward players for playing good. So why should players try that, go the extra mile for their coach? Bradley Beal is not the answer. He won't help us. He'll help us, but how much will he help us? Will he help us become a top 3 team in the league? Because that's what we need. We need to be a top 3 team if we want to have a shot to the championship, not just in the West, but in the league, and that's not going to happen. Anthony Davis probably would, depending on who we keep. But if we're going to gut the whole roster for Bradley Beal, then you can kiss any championship aspirations goodbye because as soon as LeBron starts declining, Beal's going to be left with the whole load to carry. We got to keep at least Kuzma, Ingram, or Lonzo if that's the case. And we got to hope to land other solid role players in free agency. So we'll see. But February 7th is around the corner, and that's when we're going to know exactly what the front office is thinking. Again, if there's no moves and Luke Walton is here, I could almost all but guarantee that we're tanking. Yes, even with LeBron. Maybe they're going to sell him on the idea that, hey, if we tank, we get a lottery pick, we could flip it in a package for Anthony Davis, and you'll get your guy. I don't know. I don't know what the office is right now. I don't know what the plan is. I really don't. He said, Dan, I'm upset with the front office trying to make moves. Start with the new coach. I agree, Jonathan. I've been calling for this for a long time, but I'm a little shocked that it's taken this long. This is the first signs of uncertainty that I have shown in the front office, simply because if we wanted to salvage the season, we need to make a move now. We still have time. If we're still a top 8 seed, maybe we can make a run at that top 4 when LeBron comes back, but we still need to move. We need a better head coach to help us win these kind of games. Because, come on, man. He got out-coached by the Cavs head coach, And he's actually a solid coach, but he doesn't have a good roster. It shows you. Who did they have that's better than anybody on the roster? Nobody, man. Young Bull is still too young. Tristan Thompson, all he does is rebound and dunk. Come on, we could have stopped that. Cedi Osman is just a really good role player on a bad team. He's not even a good role player on a good team. And we have, score like Kuzma dropping 20 plus. Brandon Ingram did solid in the first half, then he slowed down, but he still had close to 20. Lonzo was aggressive in the first half, then slowed down. But, we should have won this game. There's no excuses. And again, missing free throws, again, doing stupid turnovers, again, not running a half-court offense. It's like everything's on repeat. There's no adjustments. There's no learning from these losses. And that's why we need a head coach that even if you lose, you're learning, you're getting better, you're developing the core, because LeBron's not always going to be able to be the savior. Father Time's undefeated. And at some point, LeBron might get injured for the season. You never know. I hope it doesn't happen, but LeBron's getting older, man. We can't rely on him to save us always. Yeah, he did a great job in the first half of the season, putting up MVP-type numbers. But at the end of the day, we still need the young core to step up, man. And, our head coach is not putting them in position to succeed. Really, if you just ISO players off of a pick and let them go one-on-one, what kind of offense are you running? You're just telling those guys to go and get buckets. They're not – the only bucket getter we have is Kyle Kuzma, and his shot has been off. But from mid-range and the paint, he's been killing. And other than that, Brandon Ingram's not a bucket getter consistently yet. Alonzo's definitely not a bucket getter consistently yet. Same thing for Josh Hart. So you're really putting the whole pressure on, Kyle Kuzma to save you night in and night out. And it's his second season in the league. So that's why you need to put those guys in positions to get easy buckets. How many easy buckets did the Cavs have tonight? How many easy wide open 3-pointers? And yes, we missed some too, but we didn't have as many as they did. And they have a way worse offensive potential in the offensive side of a roster, right? They have way worse than us. We have guys who could actually get to the rim, like Brandon, like Kuz, like even Lonzo was using his speed tonight to get to the rack. So we're not utilizing these guys. We're letting them settle. A good head coach would have called the timeout and said, next one that shoots a freaking 3-pointer, if we keep missing these shots, next one that shoots a freaking 3-pointer is going to come sit over here by me. I want you guys to take higher percentage buckets. All right, unless you're completely wide open, there's nobody in the area code. I don't even want anybody, at the top of the key, nowhere near you guys. Then okay, don't shoot. But how many of those 3-pointers we shot were step backs contested? How many of those 3-pointers were coming off of a screen under heavy pressure? How many of those 3-point shots were ISO ball, dribble between the legs, just pull up? More than I can count. And of course, when you're on, it's okay to take shots like that. But when you're off, like tonight, you got to go attack the rim, create for somebody else, take higher percentage buckets. And the Cavs did a better job of that. So credit to their coaching staff than us. All we do is ISO. Losing to the Cavs in LA, time to make moves. 100% agree. We will always lose 20 in first quarter. And they pretty much held the lead the whole game, which is troublesome, man. That's really bad. If the Cavs, a tanking team with no stars, no potential, is holding the lead for what? For that long? Come on now. Come on. More like KCP for a reason. That would have been great. KCP is the most inconsistent player. He makes such knucklehead play after play that it just drives me nuts. Dan, there's a video of Rob Pelinka upset. Let's see. There's a video of Rob Pelinka upset, pacing back and forth. Looks like he's gonna fire Luke. I hope it happens, man. let's save face for the season, man. Let's just save face. Luke Walton is not the head coach for the Lakers. I'm not even sure if he has the potential to coach in this league. Assistant, sure, he can go learn after behind somebody else, but nah, I'm sure the Warriors will call him right back up and he'll get his old job back alongside whoever's already there. Because that's the type of stand-up guy Steve Kerr is. He's just like that. So Luke Walton hasn't improved since first year coaching. He got to go. Absolutely. It's either the young core or a superstar. You can't have both, Dan. Well, I don't consider Bradley Beal a superstar. I consider him a really good all-star who's having a hot month. A superstar, I don't like to throw that word around. Giannis is a superstar. Anthony Davis is a superstar. Joel Embiid is a superstar. LeBron is a superstar. I could probably count superstars with my fingers, with my hands. Most of them are all-stars. Like guys like Beal are really good all-stars. If you want a superstar, though, then I'm all for it. Trade. Most of the core. Not all of them, though. Come on, let's be realistic. You can't gut your whole team. But, a superstar is a superstar. And there's not many of them out there on the market. Let's be real. This is an NBA 2K. You can't just go to the trade, whatever you call it, and put up, Hey, Nick Beckerman. Thank you, brother. He said, Magic won't stand for this for very long. I sense a big changes coming soon. I hope so, brother, because we have lost 17 out of the last 20 games, just to, pair it up with your $20 bill. I appreciate the donation, man. But, yeah, we've lost 17. No. I'm sorry. 7 out of the last 10. So sorry. Completely dumbfounded by this loss still. But, yeah, 7 out of the last 10 games, that's really bad. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster. That means the team has lost all of its confidence. The last good win we had, of course, was the Piston one that I attended to. But even before that one, the real last good victory we had was the Warrior victory. A good head coach would capitalize on that and install even more confidence. If you guys can beat the Warriors, I expect you to beat every team that's below them every night on any given night. And yes, it's the NBA. You'll lose some, but not to the Cavs, not to the Knicks, not to the Jazz. We got to win those. These young core players don't have a mentor, no one to look up to. They have LeBron. But who knows? Maybe LeBron's heart isn't into mentoring the young guys. Maybe he's not patient for it. They have Magic, too. His office is always open. They have plenty of mentors. They just don't have a leader, a head coach. He said Rondo needs to start when he comes back. We'll see what happens, man. Rondo's still a ways away. Dan, did you see the most recent news? Luke Walton said that there will be a new starting lineup. I don't care what Luke Walton says. Luke Walton is a bad coach, and he thinks he's going to make an impact by threatening his team. He already lost his team. KCP for Josh Hart is going to be a minor tweak. Who's he going to start? Mo Wagner? Come on, man. He doesn't scare me. He doesn't have the guts to make major changes. He'll make minor tweaks. I wish he was that type of head coach that actually threatened players and backed it up. Like, oh, you know what? Okay, Josh Hart, you're not shooting well. Okay, we're going to start, KCP or Lance. Oh, Brandon Ingram, you're playing really bad lately. Okay, Beasley takes your spot or whatever. You got to threaten these players. Maybe they'll wake up. But if he already lost the locker room, and nothing he does is really going to matter. Why doesn't Mo Wagner play? I don't know. I really loved him in college. I think he was going to make some sort of an impact this season. But Luke Walton doesn't like to try new things, I guess. Dan Rapalenko was pissed. He didn't even bother to watch the game for a bit. Good. I hope he's pissed. We're all pissed. Trust me. I had to get on a little later than I normally do because I had to vent just a little bit, blow off some steam before I got on here, man. And let's just move on. But bottom line is something has to be done. We can't continue this brand of basketball unless, and I doubt it because no team with LeBron should be tanking. But unless they're tanking, then this is not acceptable. Not acceptable. And if they are tanking, they might as well trade LeBron and continue stockpiling assets, right? But that's not going to happen. This is not NBA 2K. So they're better off firing Luke and maybe making a minor trade. Send a message to the locker, get those guys to play harder. That would really revamping the coaching staff and trading one of the pieces would probably send a good message, and everybody would probably step up their game, I think, because they've gotten so relaxed with losing. I feel. Other than Kuzma, again, I saw the fire in Kuz tonight again, and I appreciate that. I wish all the players were like that. Kuz was mad. He was urging the team to play harder, and he was leading by example. Right, he was getting buckets in the fourth. So, other than Kuz, man, everybody else needs to step up, and there needs to be some sort of I wouldn't say threaten them. If you guys remember when Magic Johnson first came to the Lakers, right, before he made all the trades, he was putting out threats, man. He was talking about, hey, they got to play better or else, we're going to get players that will. And all of a sudden, D'Angelo was playing consistent basketball. All of a sudden, Jordan Clarkson was playing consistent with Larry Nance and all these guys. They started playing really consistent. And all of a sudden, they got complacent again, and they started losing games. It came a time that they started getting shipped out one by one. And after that, the rest was history. But all I'm saying is, man, he said, I'm a Kings fan, and I'm used to losing. Laker fans deserve better. I appreciate that, bro. That's really nice of you to say. But no fan base deserves losing. Your team deserves better as well. You pay your hard-earned money, and at the very least, they have to compete every night. Tonight, our guys didn't come out to compete, and that's what's really troublesome. If we would have lost at the buzzer, played good basketball, but got beat by a better team, then I'm okay with it. But we lost to a tanking team, missed more free throws than I want to count even. I don't even want to look at the box score. That's how disgusted I am. And so again, the coaching remains the same. So he said you can deal Ingram and Zubac and Pope and pick for Beasley easily, I believe. I don't believe that. I think they're going to want more. I think if the Wizards are trying to get rid of Beal, they're going to want you to take like one of their contracts they don't like, probably John Wall's as well. They're going to want to eat it into your cap. At least I would. If I'm Washington, I'm not just getting rid of my best player and only getting young talent. I'm going to want draft picks and cap relief. So they're probably going to want to get rid of one of their big contracts, whoever it is, and start clean and have a nice core. I think if I'm Washington and I'm trading Bradley Beal the way he's playing, I'm going to want both Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. All right? That's just me, though. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think, they're going to do it just for, Brandon Ingram. Simply because Brandon Ingram hasn't played the best basketball of his career during this stint. Had he been playing like he was balling yet last year when he was going at KD and all that, then I believe you. That's a plausible trade. That's something that could happen. But, again, lately, the way Brandon's been playing, his trade value has gone down by a little. And, fans aren't the only ones that take notice. But GMs do as well. They have league pass. They watch all the games. They study film. They know exactly that Ingram has a loads of potential, but they're going to try to sell his low shooting percentage. They're going to try to, low ball us. And that's what good GMs do. They low ball. And, the best ones end up landing those trades. He said, no, the Wizards said they want 2 young core and an expiring contract and 2 first-round draft picks. You guys must be joking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They want too much, way too much. That would cripple our franchise for one player that, although he's very good, he's not a superstar. He's not going to take you to the next level. He's not going to get you past Golden State. He said, we have top 15 pick right now. That's what I'm saying. That could be dealt in the summer. That could be dealt in the summer. When Anthony Davis actually becomes available. Right now, he's not available. There's nothing saying that Anthony Davis is now on the trading block. So in order to pry, him away from their hands, you're going to have to give up the whole farm. Because, like they said, unless something completely blows him away, which it won't for Anthony Davis, they're not going to trade him. So we probably have to wait till summer when AD says, hey, I want to trade. I'm not planning on re-signing that contract next year. Then there'll be a certain sense of urgency. But for now, AD, he's chilling. He's sitting there chilling, hoping that the Pelicans make a trade in his favor, to actually bring somebody to New Orleans. And they're actually trying. I heard that the Pelicans were inquiring about Bradley Beal. What would they give up for Bradley Beal? Again, the best thing they could give up besides draft assets and young players is cap relief. If you're a GM and you're stuck with John Wall's contract, you want that off your books. So if they want Bradley Beal, they better part ways with probably Julius Randle, who's an expiring contract, a first-round pick, and probably Drew Holiday. And in return, they'll probably have to bring in John Wall as well. And that's a risk that they would be willing to take probably to try to keep AD. But if I wouldn't. If I'm New Orleans, I know AD is leaving. I'm getting max return value. I wouldn't cripple my franchise just to try to make him happy. I wouldn't bring in those contracts, those bloated contracts. You know, Julius has 2 years on his deal. No, he has a player termination option. He can opt out this year. That's why he went there with a 1 year and 1 year early termination option. So pretty much he can opt out, which he's going to want to because he's having a career year for himself. And he's going to probably get paid by some team that's looking for young up-and-coming talent. He said, just be patient. They need time to grow. I agree with that take for sure. But something does have to be done. I'm not saying trade it with a core or whatever, but send a message. Do something. Firing the coach would be ideal. But if that doesn't happen, then at least trade for a role player. Do something. Don't just sit on your hands. That's what Mitch and Jim used to do. Like everything was okay when it wasn't. Watch the Titanic sink. I think Kuzma is the best out of all the young Laker talent. For now, definitely, but the other guys have potential too, man. And you can't just discount what the other guys do because Kuz is a better scorer. Now, Kuzma is a better pure scorer. He's a pure scorer. Even though his shot is struggling, he always finds ways to put up buckets. But Lonzo, probably one of, if not our best defender, probably one of our best defenders, our best passer for sure, one of our better rebounders, and he controls the tempo of the game. When he plays hard, the team plays hard. Brandon Ingram has defensive star potential, and he can develop an offensive game under the right coaching staff and the right system. That's really, really good. But I understand why people want to trade him because he's very inefficient. And he tends to have good spurts in games, but then he disappears. He's not like Kuzma. Kuzma, once he gets rolling, he gets hot. You just want to get him the ball because he's going to get you a bucket on the next possession. Brandon's not like that. Brandon is random. You don't know if he's going to go on make 2-3 shots or if he's going to make one shot and miss the next 4 or 5. That's the reason people want to trade him. But I'm still patient with him. I'm hoping that he gets out of his head because a lot of times he loses his mind out there. Like he takes bad shots, and that's the part that drives me nuts because he has a guy on the wing, and he'll throw up some contested mid-range shot. Stuff like that pisses me off. But I'm still patient with the kid, and I still think he has so much potential. He's an ISO BI is killing us. He stagnates the offense. Definitely, man. Definitely. I agree with that. But that's what I'm saying. That's the coaching staff. They don't rein him back. They just give him the green light. And also, they don't put him in positions. I noticed that he's so much better in the paint, from the free throw line down. That's where he operates. I like when he does a little turnaround jump shots, when he catches it in the paint, one dribble, turnaround jumper. I like it when he uses his length around the basket. I like it when he shoots the mid-ranges when he's hot, right? But he said, I wish my Kings had Kuzma. You're funny, bro. Well, I wish my Lakers had Buddy Hield. We could use a shooter like that. And no, I'm not suggesting we should trade. I'm just saying, we all wish we had. I wish we had Devin Booker sometimes. I wish we had Spencer Dinwiddie. We need a shooting guard. I feel like Lonzo's game is so much better when he has a true two guard who can score. Look how he played in UCLA. With Alfred, with that one kid that could shoot. If Lonzo had like a JJ Redick, or I guess for example purposes, let's say he had a Klay Thompson, even though I don't like Klay. God, it feels nasty just saying it. Let me go brush my mouth, bro. Klay Thompson or Bradley Beal, he would play so much better. But again, Bradley Beal, I'm talking about guys that could be had via free agency, not guys that we need to gut the roster for. But yeah. Of course, Ingram will be so much. Lonzo would be so much better with a two guard who can score. It will take pressure off of him, get him some wide open buckets for himself, open up everything. It really would. We drafted Ingram over Buddy. I'll still take that. I'm sorry, I like Buddy Hield, but not over Brandon Ingram. Ingram still has loads of potential. A lot of people are going to end up eating up their words. Right now, they're calling him a bust and all that stuff. But just wait, man. He's still very raw. People forget about players like Brandon Ingram. When they came in, the reason there wasn't a lot of pressure because we had Kobe carrying us at the time. So the pressure really wasn't on Brandon. It wasn't until he actually filled up his body, got strong, and got better that we really started counting with Andrew Bynum. But Brandon Ingram's the same way. He's still very raw. I see a young little deer in the headlights right now. And when he actually becomes a lion, then people are going to be scared and they're going to be like, wow, what a beast. I'm glad we kept him. Or they're going to say, dang, we should have kept him. Either one. I predict he's going to be a really good player in this league. However, he does have to fix his two things. His aggressive level needs to stay high the whole game, not just in spurts, right? And if he had the right head coach, he'd install that in his mind. And thing number two is he needs to stop forcing stuff. When he forces stuff, he's pretty much a bad player. But when he lets the game come to him, he looks so smooth. When he gets out in transition, he uses his length, and he actually knocks down the open shots like he did a couple tonight. He can be a really, really good player. Then I'm tired of flashes. I want a real star. Again, that's just us being spoiled because we're not used to developing players. Any other fan base doesn't trash their players like we do. I don't see other young cores getting trashed like that. And that's because through our history, we always end up trading any young players we have for stars. And that's what we're used to. But remember, the CBA changed it all, man. He said, Dan, admit it, we drafted bad. How did we draft bad? We got Kyle Kuzma with the 27th pick. We got Josh Hart with the 29th pick, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. We've drafted great. We got Larry Nance late. We got Lonzo number 2. The only player that I can say is truly better than him right now is Donovan Mitchell. De'Aaron Fox, he's good. He's a better scorer, but is he a better playmaker, facilitator, rebounder, defender? No. How many players can you really say are better than Lonzo at his overall game? Again, we don't even have a system in place. Imagine how Lonzo would look with a true head coach that had him handling the ball at least 75% of the time and getting everybody into their spots. Just like Mike D'Antoni did with Nash and James Harden. I'm just saying, man. Jason Tatum is not better than Lonzo. I'm sorry. Jason Tatum's a better scorer. He's not a better defender than Lonzo. He's not a better rebounder than Lonzo. He's not quicker than Lonzo. He's not a better playmaker than Lonzo. He's not. And why would you draft Jason Tatum when you have Kyle Kuzma, who you got in that same draft, and Brandon Ingram already there? It just wouldn't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? No. Tatum is not better than Lonzo. They're two different players, first of all. You shouldn't even be comparing them. You can compare Kuzma to Tatum, but come on. Who's better, Kuzma or Tatum? And if you say Tatum is better than Kuzma, then you're just a Celtic fan. I don't respect your opinion. Is a Tatum not better than Lonzo? No, he's not. At his position, no. Is he a better scorer? Of course. But we didn't draft Lonzo to come in here and score. We drafted him to come run the team. It's obvious, guys. You're not looking at the bigger picture here. We hadn't had a point guard like Lonzo in a long time. So I'm just saying, like, what point guard have we had that's a better playmaker than Lonzo? I mean, I'll wait. I'll sit here and wait. Probably Magic Johnson was the last one. That's how long it's been since we had a playmaking point guard like Lonzo. He said Tatum actually has playoff experience, though. Yeah, because he's in the East, obviously. Obviously, he was in the East. Tatum went head up with Giannis in the playoffs. That's fine. I mean, he went head up, but obviously he didn't win that matchup. So anybody can go head up by default if that's your matchup. Dan, would you make a trade right now? Yeah, I would. I would make a trade right now just to send a message. Sometimes when the chemistry is bad and players start hanging their head and they start getting complacent, you have to make a trade just to send that message. LeBron brings too much expectations. Fans are pissed so bad. Now, even before LeBron got here, man, we were already expecting stuff because as a Laker Nation, we're spoiled. It's just the truth. We're used to winning. We're not used to losing. This is only recent in our history that we started losing. So Tatum is not better than Kuzma. You get blocked for that. Get out of here with that. What's Tatum's career high? How often what is his average? Come on now. How is Tatum better than Kuzma? Some people just like to wild out. I never want to hear that. Kuzma dropped 41 points in 3 quarters versus a solid defensive team. The Detroit Pistons with Drummond and Blake Griffin, he gave them 41 in 3 quarters and like 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Get out of here. Are we a lottery team without LeBron? No, we're a lottery team with Luke Walton. With Luke Walton at the helm and no LeBron, yes. But if we had a better coach, no, we'd be playing a lot better. Tatum has playoff experience because he's in the East, obviously. We have a young core that will blossom, be patient, have faith, Laker Nation. Tell them, man. I've been telling them all year. Every time we lose like this, we panic. And I get it. Change is overdue. But to panic and say trade them all and then start saying crazy stuff like Tatum is better than Kuzma, really? When has he had a better career game? If you guys don't recall, when they faced, Kuzma won that game single-handedly for the Lakers. So, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what people say. Like, they can hate on me for saying the truth, but Kuzma's way better than Tatum. I'm sorry, especially at scoring. He said, will Luke Walton be fired? Luke Walton should get fired. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, man. He said, why Coach Luke Walton subbed Kuzma when Kuzma was trying to cover for Ingram's late approach on defense in the third quarter? I don't know, man. That's a question we got to be asking Luke Walton. Tatum and Kuz are just both really good young players. They are, but 10 times out of 10, I'm drafting Kuz over Tatum. And on top of this, here's another thing. Tatum started the majority of the season for the Celtics last year, rookie season. Kuzma came off the bench and still put up better numbers. He's putting up better numbers now, and he's just a bigger part of this team than Tatum is for the Celtics. If the Celtics didn't have Kyrie, who knows where they'd be at right now? They probably wouldn't even be in the playoff picture. They're not playing good basketball right now, and they have a deep team. They have Jason Tatum. They have, I forgot the name, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Marcus Morris, Al Horford. They have a pretty stacked team. And Jason Tatum's not making a big impact like Kuz is on the Lakers, man. I don't care about the age. He's still a better player. We're comparing players. Kuzma can't control his age. Dan is delusional as hell about Lonzo. How so? Because I don't trash him like you guys? Because I don't trash him because he's not an elite scorer right now? That's why? That makes you guys delusional, honestly. Anybody who trashes Lonzo because he's not the scorer you want him to be, or because you guys play too much NBA 2K, that's not my fault. Yeah, if y'all ain't looking at every aspect of the game, then you better not watch the game. Just look at the stat sheet if that's the case. Lonzo can't hit free throws. That's his weakness. I'm not saying he's a perfect player. I'm not saying he's an all-star, but he's definitely not a bum. And Josh Hart is struggling as well, but he already showed us what he's capable of. I'm just not the type of person that's going to go and call players trash, even if they're not on my team. Like, a lot of people call Markelle Fultz trash, and then we found out he had that injury to his shoulder that's actually pretty severe. So he said, I hate Lonzo's shooting form. He actually hit a couple to start off. Nat is just a hater, bro. I don't even think you're a Laker fan, bro. Get out of my channel, bro. If you're not a Laker fan, just don't waste our time. Why? Why come to the channel? Why? Seriously. Don't you have like a forum of your team or something you could go join? That's all I'm saying. Lonzo would be nice off the bench. I'm not ready to put him there yet. Yeah, and free throw, that's another good point, Scott. You say everybody on the team is trash at free throws. That's true. When you shoot poor free throws, it's infectious. I've even seen stars do it, That's right, Jesus. As long as you have respect, you're good, bro. You don't have to be a Laker fan. All I'm saying is some people they just love hating, bro. It gets annoying. It's like, bro, your arguments aren't even valid. You say I lack basketball knowledge, but yeah, you're calling Lonzo a bust and a bum on his second year when the man is putting close to triple-double numbers on a consistent basis. Like, that blows my mind, man. The lack of basketball knowledge from some people, I just think it's hate. I don't know what it is. If you could redraft, would you take Lonzo or Fox? Again, I like what Lonzo does. I really do. Fox is real nice. You can't go wrong with either one, honestly. But Fox does something completely different than what Lonzo does. Now, if you want scoring, you want a scoring punch, you want speed, athleticism, you want consistent scoring, yeah, you're taking Fox. But if you want a playmaker, play first guy who's going to make players better, who's going to elevate the games of probably the whole team, and is going to do that consistently and play defense, all first-team defender, then I'll take Lonzo. But it depends what you want. You can't go wrong with either one. You can't go wrong with either one. And I mean, if you're gonna trash me for liking Lonzo, then you got issues, bro. But that's my opinion. What is my opinion on Ben Simmons? He's very good. He just lacks a face-up game, but he's very good. I like Ben Simmons. In my opinion, he's not a superstar yet. I think some people overrate him and treat him like a superstar. Once he gets that face-up game, if he ever does, then okay, he'll be a superstar because he's athletic. He's very good at and crafty at getting in the lane, playmaking for teammates. Good rebounder, just an all-around player. All he lacks is consistent mid-range shot and a three ball. He could do that, then because in the playoffs, what are they going to do with Ben Simmons? They're going to sag off of him and make him a scorer, take away the teammates, and that's when he has to become a scorer, man. So, at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is limited with his face-up game. Yeah, I like Fox too. I'm not trashing Fox. I really like De'Aaron Fox. You can't go wrong with either one of those two dudes. And by the way, that was a deep draft. That was the same draft that brought us Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Dennis Smith Jr., Kyle Kuzma. Like the list goes on of all the talent at the guard position. It's crazy. Pray for JJ Barea, definitely, man. He got injured or something? I didn't hear. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for me, man. I got work tomorrow, guys, so I can't really stay on long. I'm gonna hit the shower since I want to go hoop tonight. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the love, support, man. Please keep liking, subscribing, and commenting, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And hopefully, there's some sort of a trade or some sort of a coaching change, something, man. If there isn't, then we're gonna ride and die with our squad. That's what we do here, But bottom line is, man, I hope there's something because my night got ruined by tonight's loss. So let's keep our head up and hopefully something happens soon. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me. You guys have a great night, man.